pretty awesome. I'm Brian Baker. This time on Burnouts and Rollerblades, we're in France to check out some castles. Welcome to the Burnouts and Rollerblades YouTube channel. Let's go do something awesome. Welcome back to the Burnouts and Rollerblades YouTube channel. This time we are in Angers, which is spelled Angers, in France, and we're gonna go look at another castle, which is Chateau d'Angers. One of the downsides of trying to travel without getting an Airbnb everywhere is that you have to carry your bags unless you find a spot that'll hold them for you in like a storage. I use this program, your nanny bag, to find a spot to deposit them while I go explore castles. So I just dropped off my bag at a wine store, which is awesome because I'm definitely going to come back there to buy wine when I pick my bag up. Perfect location. And it was only like 12 euros, pretty inexpensive. And the guy at the store was super nice. Even though I only checked my bag in until 5, he said I could come pick it up anytime until they close, which is 7 p.m. So now we're gonna go find the castle, which shouldn't be too hard. One kind of bummer is that they're actually working on restoring it. I mean, it's a bummer for me right now, but in the long run, it's really awesome that they're taking care of. But it is a bit of a construction project at the moment. I do like, really, that I'm seeing English. This is awesome that they're doing this. It means these will be around for more generations to see them. As we start off on all the other castles, we start off with the drawbridge, which is a little hidden because of the construction, but you can see the drawbridge here, and you can see these arms and the big counterweight that would swing down to pull the drawbridge up, both the man drawbridge and the heavy drawbridge. And it looks like they even have like some of the old iron that they'd used to do it. Then you have your electronic key card. That was a popular feature in the castles.
Thank you.
Good.
Have a nice visit this way.
Could you open just your backpack, please?
Oh, sure. I only have 2 or 3 guns.
If you doesn't use, it's alright.
Oh, okay. Super nice. Bonjour. Tu parles anglais? That was all very painless. They were super nice. Everybody spoke English, which is not always the case, but here they're really, really nice. And I'm really just stalling because I want it to be dramatic whenever I turn this around, because this place is awesome. Really cool. Everything is in English and in Braille. I don't know why you would bring a person to see a castle in Braille, but hey, whatever. So the gate that we came into originally down that way is the actual like battle gate, but then there's this other gate here which is like the ceremonial gate, and it's not strategic or military or anything like that. It is instead separation between like the working part of the castle, and then this is like royal gardens in here. So now we're going to go into the fancy part. Just like all the other castles that we have gone and seen, this castle was actually just a part of a bigger city. You can see that this whole town, the whole village, is just an absolutely massive complex that would have been surrounded by an exterior wall, and the castle only made up a small portion of that. And then the keep inside of the castle, which was like the fancier part of the castle, is an even smaller part of that. So the royals really insulated themselves quite well. So it looks like there's a huge section of the castle that is now inaccessible because of the reconstruction project. So unfortunately, this whole thing up here is completely inaccessible to me at the moment, but maybe whenever you come, it won't be. There's a lot of activity going on in this building. I mean, there's people working over here. There's a bunch of tradesmen's vans out there, and there's people doing a new installation of an exhibit up on the second story of the residence. So there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of changes happening in this castle that I can't even see right now. Kind of cool though. I mean, it's a reason to come back. And that is some pretty cool yard art. Love it when they have exhibits and stuff like this because there's really a lot of information. This entire exhibit is essentially 800 square meters, it said. Tapestries, original tapestries. One of the things that the notes were saying was basically that during their examination they didn't find that anything was painted or that any corrections were done. These were all like first shot, no repairs, no fixes, like woven this way. And like I guess basically they took no prisoners on perfection. So really impressive. They were designed by one guy, and they are from the early teen centuries. And there's what's impressive about them is that they're still here, that we still have them. This is pretty awesome that they built this entire area to house just these tapestries as kind of like a monument. So there's a whole bunch that goes into them, what their meaning is. They're roughly based on the Apocalypse, the last books of the Bible. Apparently there's dragons in the last book of the Bible. Unfortunately, I think there's a point where an old castle like this has become too industrialized, too modernized, and too capitalized, I guess, where they're trying to make money off of it. And while they are doing some pretty cool restoration and art projects, my overall impression is they've kind of made it a bit touristy. The gift shop's the biggest thing about the castle. So take it for what it is. It's still really cool, but Fougères still wins in my opinion. Just for Natasha, I'm going to go ahead and say you didn't get to join me on this one, but very little stairs. So one of the things that the tour was saying basically is that these were reinforced for cannon fire and built bigger because, as battle technology increased or advanced, the need to accommodate the new battle tactics with bigger walkways, which they expanded these walkways and made them so that you could roll a cannon down them, and then they just made all these things stronger so it wasn't just shooting bows and arrows. But not only that, all of this would have had wooden roofs over the top of it to protect any of the archers and stuff that were up here from the elements and from attack. So I mean, it doesn't quite look like it did back in the day, but I mean, it's awesome. Look at that sheer cliff. So one of the things about this castle and its moat is that it didn't have water in its moat. It had a dry moat, and that may have been something that was pretty common around here. I just assumed that all castles had water in their moats. I had no idea. But yeah, apparently this was a dry moat, and that's where they kept all of their flower beds and stuff, which they say have been painstakingly kept in the style that they were back then. So this area here was supposedly the field entrance. It was the entrance where somebody would have come up to try to attack the castle, and audio guide basically says that it's not used anymore. In its heyday, had even a trap door that they just rediscovered, and whenever somebody would have come up to attack this area, it would have been used to drop boiling hot water and rocks on stuff, something that's commonly called a murder hole in other castles that I've been to. Down there, just imagine somebody's trying to walk in, and you can just make it rain on them. boiling hot water. Now, something interesting here at this particular castle, and their audio guide says that boiling oil was not used in defensive castles because it was very expensive, which makes a lot of sense. But I've heard it said a number of other places that they would use burning oil. So walk around the edge. Oh no, I got a fly right in my eye. Whoa, they're in those stupid flocks or swarm. Yep. Tastes like chicken. One of the really impressive parts of this castle has got to be just the what they've done with the grounds. It's really beautiful, and I mean, everything from what you see behind me to the fact that they've let all these things climb up the walls, to just the sculpting they've done on all these plants. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into this castle grounds down here, and then not only that, but up top they're calling the hanging garden up there, where they have vineyards, and then they have another section over there with like other plants like rosemary, and it just like the rose. I still smell it on my hands, like just touching it. I love the smell of rosemary. So this is the field entrance. We were up above just a little bit ago, and the cool thing about this is like kind of more what I would expect from the castle is as a big, barricaded entrance with some murder holes from above, a couple of gates, just a massive defense system. So let's go see what they allow us to go see in here. This whole area here would have been all business. It would have been not for fancy people. This is just straight up defense area. So I think they were saying that around here somewhere was the trapdoor. You can see here was where one of the gates would go through. That's going to do it for this castle. It has been a really awesome experience. The Angers castle, it's just huge. It's massive. This is another castle in the Brittany region of France, and they're all kind of guarded along the same path. And I mean, if you like castles like I do, I would highly recommend a trip to this area. I appreciate you guys having joined me. It's been a pleasure to have you along. If you want to see the next places that I go to, hit the subscribe, the bell icon for notifications, and we'll see you on the next one.